Greetings, dear ones. Greetings, dear ones, and happy Groundhog Day. Those of you who have worked with me or have followed my work over the years know that Groundhog Day is significant in the philosophy and work that I do with clients. And today I just want to give you a little bit of the background of Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day initially began in the Irish-Scottish Isles, and it is, as I mentioned yesterday, it falls on Imbolc, Imbolc, which is a midway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. And the word itself means in the belly of the mother, because at this point in time, at least in Europe and the English Isles, there were stirrings. The seeds beneath the surface, beneath the soil, were beginning to break apart and begin their cycle for sprouting. And Brigitte, who is the goddess of fertility in the Celtic tradition, is a goddess, as I said, of fertility, and she was known to go from home to home, granting blessings or blessing the people in the home who were virtuous, and whatever that definition meant. And as a result, they left out food and milk for her as she was going from home to home. And they believed that she had the power to be able to shift the seasons from the season of darkness, which is wintertime, to the season of light. So they venerated her and gave great honor and respect to her. And as the Catholic Church moved in, it actually, as they did with many different traditions, ancient traditions in many different countries, kind of took it over and relabeled it. We would say these days, rebranded it into Candlemas, because again, part of the tradition was to light a candle to honor Brigitte. And they took that and actually to symbolize also, to honor the light itself. And the Catholic Church took that, turned it into a holiday called Candlemas. And again, there were blessings of the candles at that point, and they were honoring Saint Bridget. They turned Brigitte, the goddess, into Saint Bridget. And it was still recognized throughout time as a date. It was so deeply embedded in the Celtic tradition that it wasn't something that could be easily erased. So another part of the myth is that there is contrary perspective, as there always is. And the old crone goddess Cailleach was representing the darkness and the darkness of winter. And she wanted winter to last because she is a goddess that is of the dark. So not dark as far as harmful, but dark simply in the opposite to light. And if she wanted winter to last, so she wanted it to be bright and sunny on Imbolc, which is February 1st in Europe and February 2nd here. She wanted it to be bright and sunny so she could collect more firewood for the extended winter. If it was dark and cloudy outside, she would sleep through it and not have much firewood, and so therefore spring would come early. The Romans carried this on in their tradition, actually way before the church, and they kind of looked to the hedgehogs. And if, again, it the hedgehog came out and saw his shadow, then they would acknowledge that it would be a longer time of winter. And that tradition carried on from the Roman to the German country, to different countries, and to Germany. And when the German peoples came over to Pennsylvania here in the United States, that just converted from hedgehogs into groundhogs. And that's why we do Groundhog Day, which brings us to the fabulous 1993 movie that has been studied by philosophers, psychologists, theosophists, people who really acknowledge either the hero's journey or the process of awakening. And, in this time of winter, we are ideally encouraged by the weather and by our own deep soul and psyche to be very introspective and to explore inwardly what it is that is going on within us, what it is that we would like to change. And as I invited everyone yesterday with the new moon and the Lunar New Year to write out those things that you want to change, so too when we're talking about the seeds beginning to move and sprout or open up, did what you had planned or what you had intended or what you were looking at in yourself, is that sprouting seeds? Is that giving you now an opportunity to grow or become? Because as we saw in Groundhog Day, and certainly in the work that I do with clients, the issues that the projects that your soul wants you to work with or complete or accomplish in this lifetime are going to keep presenting themselves, giving you opportunities over and over and over again to make that deeper transformation or transmutation or even metamorphosis. And if you don't make those changes, then you loop around again. It usually comes at a deeper level the next time in some loud way in your physical life, be it a physical illness, be it financial or in relationship. I have a very dear friend and colleague who just went through a very powerfully weakening illness, and she did her own exploration and was able to recognize that this illness that was affecting her lungs, she could trace back to multiple different illnesses when she was a young child. I just finished with a client today who is infuriated by a builder of a home she's been trying to complete for quite some time. And as we went through the things that were really bothering her and putting them into words and helping her to hear from her body and energy field and wider self, it allowed her to realize that those same statements, that same feeling, that same emotion of anger has been sitting dormant within her from a very young child, and the same issues or the same aspects that this builder was presenting was the same way in which she felt she was treated as a child. So, and able to really move that and make a difference in her life and potentially open up the possibility of that builder either redressing the things that he has not been doing, or leave the space for her to end the contract and hire a new contractor who would do so, or a new builder who would do so. So these huge shifts are what is potentially possible when we go into those depths. And coming up in the next few weeks, we're going to be I'm going to be starting a transformation program that's going to run for 3 months, and has the potential for huge shifting of your life and some of those major in your face challenges and issues that are coming up, so you don't keep looping around like Groundhog Day. As always, I encourage you to watch the movie and enjoy it, but then watch it again and really try to see deeply how it emotionally and psychologically and spiritually is the process of awakening. So we are going to be doing that process of awakening in the upcoming transformation program, and that's it's calling it at this moment the Crystal Transformation Program. And I'll have more information up and posted soon. But in the meantime, I hope that you enjoy your Groundhog Day, that you identify loops within your own life and are able to shift them and change them. And please join us in the upcoming powerful group to do so. Until soon, and as always, it is with great honor, gratitude, and love for your presence here on the planet. Be well until next time.